version, so I will put a link to it below as well, in case you want your own private reading looking at a certain time frame. You can look at this for the week, you can look at this for the month, etc. So we're going to see what comes up for everyone, but I'm going to pull a symbols card first, the sacred symbols for the week, and I hope everyone is doing well. I wasn't able to post last week because of my schedule, and I do apologize, but I hope to stay on track for the most part coming forward. So let's see what happens here with a sacred symbol. This will be a symbol that is important, and its message holding the energies for love this week. There it is. Actually, I feel two. So there's this one sticking out too, so I'm going to take it as well. And we got, I'm going to see what comes up. So if you want to assign one a message, you can do that, and then we're going to do the reading. So I'm going to see. So if you pick this one, we're going to see what it is, and it's growth. So the energy this week, there's going to be a lot of growth. I can't help but see a lot of throat chakra and healing energy with the word growth coming up here. So I'm just going to read them intuitively, I feel. If you pick this one, we have void. So there's a lot of unknown here, a lot of mysterious energy. And together, it's like silent energy. Silence. I'm just going to shuffle. That song is coming. So, it's the sound of silence. And, gosh, I am so bad. I love how Spirit does these things. Let's just Google quickly, shall we? And see. I feel so naive with these. It's the sound. Yeah, it's the sound of silence. Simon and Garfunkel, duh. So yeah. So I will put a link to that below, or the correct name, etc. But that is the song that came from that. It's the sound of silence. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again, which is pretty interesting because we have darkness, and I've come to talk to you again because a vision was softly creeping with seeds while I was sleeping. And it's talking about seeds, and this is talking about growth. So I would urge everyone that is watching and connected to the message to look up the lyrics. I will try to put them below, or link to the correct ones. So yeah, it's very interesting. I love how Spirit does that. So let's see what comes up. I'm going to go back to the spread here. And we're going to be looking at love with the story cards. So it's the sound of silence was important this week. Okay, they're saying no. So it says, who are you in your love story this week? What energy surrounds you in your love story right now? And it is Wildflower. So I'm going to be reading from the pamphlet as well. In fact, I'm feeling like the message may be more in the words in the pamphlet this week than anything, but we're going to see. I'm just going to kind of tune into it. Free spirit, lover of nature. She has great communion with animals, trees, and flowers. In her white dress, she represents purity of guidance. So this is representing you in regards to where you are in your love story. sort of like the wildflower energy, free spirit, really connecting to nature, just in a lot of free-flowing energy in this week. So it's where your partner stands in this love story this week, and what's their character, how are they behaving. Release. Which is interesting because we see a black balloon with a little crow or bird energy. So they're releasing some negativity that's been kind of contained, but in this card, I'm drawn to the fact they're holding it. They haven't released it. It's saying release. It's about to be released, but they're still got a hold of the end of the balloon here. So it's like you're really kind of in an energy where you're just observing the things around you. You're really connecting to nature. Really starting to see some energies in a little bit of a different way, I feel, because she really looks like she's, you're taking me back to this. She's kind of mesmerized with, it looks like a little bluebird on top of a heart here. It's like you see something and you're kind of intrigued. Kind of like, I want to say there's like a feeling coming from that. Sidetracked a little bit sidetracked, but in a good way, by something amazing to you this week. So something little, but rather significant comes up. It becomes significant to you. So they're taking me back to this in that sort of way. And it's little. You can see all these in the scheme of the picture. You can see she's really focused on this tiny little bluebird on top of the heart. And there's all these other bigger flowers around her, but she's really looking at that smaller one. So there's something small but very significant that comes up this week in this week's energy, and that kind of sidetracks you, but in a really good way. Your partner their energy is of releasing something in the process and about to release something that has been like negative. You see the black balloon represent negativity, but I am going to read that from the pamphlet as well. And we're just going to see how this unfolds for everyone. Letting go of old pain, lost love, and superficiality is what this one says. But that is what I'm getting from this card. So that's where your partner is in their energy. What or who is blocking you from moving to the next chapter in your love story this week? And we have serenity. So a feeling of peace and serenity, of unrest is the word I'm hearing. So it's like an unsettled type of energy. When we're not in peace, it says peace of mind, being near water. So I would love to be near water. So maybe the fact for myself I'm not near water is kind of giving me a sense of unrest. And then in that aspect, for some, it's not being where you want to be. You wanting to be in a certain place or a certain energy and not being there yet is a kind of what they're giving me as an example, because of how it would unfold for myself. You know, like I would love to be near the water, and that's where I get peace of mind. So it's like where you're not at, where you want to be, either physically with a real location or energetically not being somewhere or not having something the way you want it to be, is a sense of unrest, and there's no peace of mind. So it's actually coming from within, coming from yourself. But I feel this week they're showing me that, you know, in amongst all these bigger energies that are around you that are quite obvious, there's going to be something subtle that catches your attention, that brings that purity energy up, because they were talking about that with her white dress. So I do feel you will be drawn to something this week that's going to bring you that sense of serenity. So, and it's going to come from spirit around you as well. So this is really just oneself and that feeling of maybe dissatisfaction or just unsettled energy, wanting something or wanting to be somewhere that you're not right now, and letting that cause you discomfort when you can really connect to the things that are around you that are beautiful, and really get into a different energy this week. So that is they're kind of painting a picture of how to change this feeling within oneself. The previous chapter of your love story, what led you up to now? The Thinker. So it looks like an explosion of the mind, right? And they're seeing a male energy here, so it could be with the masculine energy, but it's your thoughts. So something you were thinking, or It could have been a projection. I feel a sense of projecting something onto you. Someone projected something onto you, or their thoughts or their words affected you. For some, this is going to come in a different way. It could be the things that you were thinking that caused kind of an explosion. Overthinking a situation is coming to me with this. So I want to... It says, bursting with new ideas. His intelligence is on fire. And so that is what they're saying has led up to your previous, what has left up, the previous chapter, what has led up to now. But I feel a sense of it coming for everyone in a little bit of a different way. You know, someone's thoughts kind of leaking out when maybe it wasn't the best thing for them to do that, or it's a projection onto you, or you're projecting someone or what someone else is thinking. You know, all these different energies can be coming from this card in a little bit different way. Where you are in your love story, the present chapter, and we have home. Beautiful. So even though you may have an unrest about where you're at, not being where you want to be energetically or physically, you are kind of where you're meant to be. So where you are right now, believe it or not, is where you are supposed to be in your story right now. Because this represents good energy. This represents security, stability, a loving home. For a lot, you may be attending to that energy. You may be dealing with moving, relocating, anything that has to do with your home, mortgages, remortgaging. Any of these things are coming up here, but kind of like a labor of love. So this could even be taking care of those in your home. But whatever this is, you're kind of meant to be there, even though if you feel you're not, and that's kind of giving you some unrest, know that you are. And I'm going to read that one. This is the house ruled by love, nesting, building, establishing a sustaining home base. So that's where you are. And energetically, you are building a house ruled by love, just with your energy. So that is where you are, you know, spiritually and energetically this week as well. So the thoughts that you're kind of thinking and putting out there, just know that that is building that energy. Just kind of reading those two together in combination. So again, this is all coming in different energies for everyone in a little bit different way, but overall for everyone is an expanded one. It's indicating where you are energetically is a house ruled by love. So we love that. The next chapter in your love story, if you can move past the block in number 3, which was this unrest. And it's cyclist. So just looking at it, you're going to be able to move forward. Now this one indicates an attractive free spirit who sometimes gets stuck in cycles of shallowness. So it can be that you're going to be able to move past cycles that have occurred, that have been a little bit of a lesser energy. So you're going to be able to move past them, beyond them, because this is indicating where you can be. And it's also talking about that free spirit that we saw in the wildflower. So you're going to be able to kind of move energetically past cycles that have been shallow, if you're able to move past the sense of unrest and not being where you want to be in this timeline right now. So the end of the love story for this week, so this is just this week's, and it is longing. So at the end of the week, I feel many are going to be in this energy, longing for a world or a person missed. And it's kind of been the vibe that has come up with that unrest, not being where you want to be. So there's a sense of longing here. And we're also seeing the Ferris wheel. Now that also indicates to me, you see that circular energy here, and it's kind of taking me back to these two cards with the bird, and birds are communication type of energy, and I see some movement with that energy here at the end. But it's also talking about, it could be a combination of that for something that you've been longing for, but there's that feeling of unrest, dissatisfied energy that was coming from here, and there's going to be some of that coming still at the end of the week. So really I need to look at that and really work on that energy to move past cycles coming up, because I do feel that circular energy. And